Kadosh Baruch Hu Masechet Yevamot Daf Bet Amud Aleph 72a1. We just yesterday mentioned what is the reason why in the Mibat they did not do the Brit Milah. Right, during the days of the desert, why didn't they do Brit Milah? So they said because of Chulsha Dorcha, because they were traveling, so therefore they were weak. A second answer, there was no Ruach Tzefoni. The Tanya was going to the Braita. All the 40 years of Bnei Israel were in the desert. There was no Ruach Tzefoni. My time, what's the reason? If you want, you could say because right after the Chet of the Hechal, they were considered still Nizufim. They were considered as if that they were excommunicated from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, there was no Ruach Tzefoni throughout the desert. If you can answer, what does that mean? That the Ananei Kavod, in order that it shouldn't spread, right? Ananei Kavod, that's why the Ruach Tzefoni was not blowing, right? Here, it doesn't blow. So it all depends. If it was for that because they were Nizufim, which means they were excommunicated, it's not a good sign. But if it was because in order that the Ananei Kavod should not come, so it's not either a good simam, but it's just, okay, it was a technical issue, right? We didn't want that the protection should go away. So Papa says, therefore, Yomad De'eva, a Yom, a cloudy day, Yomad De'shuta, and a day where the Ruach Deromit, which is the southern wind, is blowing. Lo ma'alinam be, they don't do Brit Milah. Velo mesochinam be, they don't also do a Kazat Dam, is what Mordechai mentioned yesterday. Kazat Dam was used to take out blood, so they don't do that as well. But nowadays, that everyone does it all the time. Shomer Petayim Hashem watches over the fools. What does that mean? Hashem watches over the fools. Nowadays, right? The last time that you had a Brit Milah, did you go outside and check if it was cloudy? Did you go outside and check if there's only a southern wind and not a northern wind? So, meaning that nowadays, that since everyone, that's it. Shomer Petayim Hashem watches over us, right? Even though it could be that we're doing foolish things. Yeah? Okay. Says the Gemara. Tanu Rabbanan. We learned in the Braita. Yeah? All the 40 years of Bnei Israel were in the desert. There was not one day that there was not a Ruach Tzefoni, the northern wind, right? B'chatzi alayla. Shneimar v'tzef in the pasuk, v'hi b'chatzi alayla, v'Hashem yikach ol b'chor b'eretz Yitzrayim. Right? Which means that it was in the chatzi alayla that Hashem came and smit every single firstborn of Egypt. Which means that the Ruach Tzefonit is always going to be b'chatzi alayla. Says the Gemara, my Talmuda. What's the meaning? Which means, how do you know this? That it was every single night. So he says, Kamashmalan, what do I need to know? He says, Kamashmalan comes teach you the Et Ratzon Miltei. Right? This is the Shat Ratzon, right? Which means it's very, very important. So since Chatzon Laila is an Et Ratzon, just like it was by Makab Bechorot, just like it's to do it. So Ruach Tzefonit is also the same thing. So therefore, every single night it comes, but it comes on Chatzot Alayla. Amar Ravuna comes and he says, Devar Torah, in Torah, Mashub Ochel Mitruma. What happens if a person has a Brit Milah, but he was Moshe Cholato? What does it mean, Moshe Cholato? He comes and he pushed forward back the Orla. So the Orla was down, they cut off the Orla, but then he tries to bring it back up, and he tries to, to make that as if that he doesn't have a Brit Milah. So it says, Mashub, he's allowed to eat Truma. Why? He's not an Adel. He did bring Milah. But in the Rabbanan, they made a gizera that even he cannot eat Truma because it looks like he's an Adel. At the end of the day, it has the same appearance because he's forcing it back up in order to show that he does not have a Brit Milah. So, we're going to ask the following question from Raita, Mashru, Tzarich Shimon. What are you talking about? Here it says Mefurash, that a person that was Moshe Cholato, again, he has to do another Brit Milah. So he thought he was cool by being Moshe Cholato, now he has to do a new Brit Milah. So says the Gemara, no, Midrabanan. It's only Midrabanan, not the right. So he doesn't have to do another Brit Milah, he did a Brit Milah. But Midrabanan, he has to do another Brit Milah. So says the Gemara, Ukarila Maikari, which means when they asked the question, what did he think when he was asking the question? Right? Why are you going to tell me now that a Mashuk is considered an El Mina Torah? So he says, Tzarich Tani. The Braita says, Tzarich Shimon. Right? It doesn't say that Mashuk is Arel. So therefore, obviously, it means that it's only the Rabbanan. So he says, no. He says, Katay B'Seifa. He made a mistake in the Seifa. What is the Seifa say? Rabbi Yudah says, Mashuch lo yimol. He shouldn't do brit milah. Why? There's a sakana. It's a sakana for him. Why? Because at the end of the day, what is foreskin? Foreskin is about, you push it out and then you cut. Why is it so careful? You have to know what you're doing in brit milah. Because if you're not careful and then you push and then you cut, you could cut part of the crown. You could cut the organ. In a sense, if you're very, very careful. He says over here, that a person has to be careful because if he already did the foreskin and now he pushed over the orla, there's very little to actually grab onto. So he could actually mamash cut the male organ and then it becomes a krut shofcha. So that's why it's a sakana for him. So Amrulo, they said, Va'alo harbe amal, right? Bime ben koziva. There were a lot of people during the days of Ben Koziva. This is Shimon Bar Kokhba, right? That they made a rebellion against Adrianos, the Caesar, the Roman Caesar, right? After the second Bet HaMikdash. So therefore, what happened is that his name was Bar Kokhba, Bar Koziva. There was a whole thing about it, right? So that he thought it was Mashiach. There was a lot of problems there. So what happened? There, the Jews were forced, right, to Moshech or Latam, right? So therefore, now it becomes a problem. So now when Ben Koziva went, he killed out the Romans and he won. So they were 2.5 years. So then they all did Brit Milah again to themselves. So he comes in here, he says, what are you talking about? Right? They all did Brit Milah to themselves again. And they had to be Mashuk, which means that the Romans forced us to be Moshech or La. And then here, look what happened. So he says, not only did nothing happen to them, they had children also. They had children. Olidu banim ubanot. Shneimar, imol imol. Afilu mea parim. You could do it even 100 times. You could bring milah. There's no problem. Right? And it says, Eberi te'efa, the rabot tamashuch. What does it mean that you're not allowed to come and to annul the brit milah? Even the mashuch, because the mashuch is obligated in brit milah. So he says, no, my veomer, what does it mean veomer? If you're going to tell me now this himol imol means the rabot tzitzin makbin into milah, we're talking about tzitzin, which are pieces of skin, which is me'akevet milah, which means stops that the milah is not considered brit milah. Tamashma comes teacher, but the rabot mashuch, even mashuch is obligated. So you see from here, right, that what? That even, that means it comes out from this part of the Gemara, from the Seifa, the mashuch is mina Torah, that he has to come and he has to do brit milah again. Okay? So it says the Gemara, Usavar, he holds in the Kanasi Shas Kra, from the fact that the Pasuk, the Gemara came, right? It's interesting here that it actually says a Shas, right? Okay, here it says there's another here said the Talmud. Okay? Interesting. It says here that every single time it was Talmud, it changed it to Shas. Yeah? Interesting. Okay, but whatever. We know that it's called Shas. Rashi Shasi der Mishnah, Shas. But here it's right. The Kanasi Talmud Kra, from the fact that there's a pasuk to teach it to you, to write it, for sure it's going to write that. It says the Gemara velo v'sachshu. It's only midrabanan ukras mafta be'alma. What does that mean? The pasuk is like a proof, but it's not really coming from the pasuk. Meaning sometimes when you learn from a pasuk, it's 100% in the Torah. You learn it from a pasuk. Sometimes, really, it's the Rabbanan. But we're bringing it from it. You understand? It's coming. So then that's a different halacha. Okay? Fine. Says the Gemara. Mate. We're going to ask the following question. Tumtum. Enochel betruma. A tumtum. Remember, tumtum means that it's covered over. You don't know if it's male or female. So you shouldn't need truma. Right? Why? Because maybe he's a male. If he's male, he didn't have Rabbi. He's an Arel. So you shouldn't eat truma. But his wife and servants can eat, right? They can eat. Interesting. He has a wife. Which one? He has a wife. Yeah, he has a wife. No, it could be that it's covered. Right? Here it says it's covered, meaning that you don't know if it's a male or female. Yeah. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Here it says the Gemara is going to ask about Nashav. Okay, the Gemara is going to ask. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. We're going to ask now the question. 1 second. So, what? So it says the Gemara, Tumtum is not going to eat Truma. Nashav Avadav, they're allowed to eat. Mashuv, right? Whether if it's going to be Mashuv, right? Vinolad Kashuma, or somebody that's born with a Brit Milah, he has to do a Tatzvat Amrit. Harelu Ochlim, they're allowed to eat Truma. Androgynos means that he has male and female organs. Okay, he's got both. That's androgynos. Okay? Ochel b'truma. He's allowed to eat truma. right? He's not allowed to eat in Kodesh Kodashim. Tumtum, and lo ochel lo truma mekushim, but a tumtum cannot eat non-truma, non-Kodesh Kodashim. Ktani nihat. However, though we learned till we get Mashruk ben olad keshumahu. Hare lo ochel not to eat truma. So Tiyufta Ravuna, Tiyufta. This is a good question against Ravuna. Why? Because Ravuna wanted to come and he wanted to say that what? That you're allowed to eat, that you're not allowed to eat truma. Here it's saying that you're allowed to, right? Because he said that it's a surah for a mashruk to eat truma the Rabbanan. Here it says mefurash, you're allowed to eat truma, and that means even the Rabbanan you're allowed to eat. So obviously this is going to be a good refutation against Ravuna. So now it says the Gemara. Okay, so we just finished by saying that this is a good refutation against Ravuna. Amar Mor says, Tumtum eno ochel betruma. A tumtum cannot eat truma. Nashav avadav ochlim, but his wife and slaves can. Nashav letumtum menale. Oh, one second. What does it mean now? Nashav is married. What's he married to? It could be a woman. It could be a man. You don't know what it is. What did he get married to? So it says that if he did kiddushin to a woman, the time that we learned in the Braita, tumtum shekidesh kiddushin. What happens now when tumtum comes and he gets married to somebody? It's a good kiddushin. So nitkadesh kiddushin. Also, if he received kiddushin, which means that here it's like a buy. It's like a technically, if he gets married to a woman, he's considered married. If a man gets married to him, he's considered married as well. So, but tumtum, we don't know what it is. So male or female. So what's going on here? So Eimar Da'amar lechumra, I would have said that's a lechumra, which means I suspect that lechumra it's a good wedding. Why? Because maybe he's a male, right? Or maybe, but here there's a kula. Here there's a kula that's considered a good marriage, and therefore they're not to eat truma. Safek isha, maybe he's a woman, and a woman can't get married to another woman. You understood? So Rabbi says, no, you could still tell through the tumtum that he's got testicles. He's got bitzim. It's covered over the gid, the organ, but you could still tell that it's probably a male. The second that you see that, right? Rava wants to come and say, Rava, my nashav, what does it mean nashav? Nashav does not mean his wife. Nashav means imo, his mother, right? So says the Gemara, imo, his mother, Shita, obviously. Why wouldn't she be able to come and eat truma? He says, no, I would have thought to say, molid ma'achil, she'en molid enu ma'achil. I would have thought to say, what happens right now if the husband dies? So the mother has a child. So as long as the mother has a child, she could eat truma. But that's only if the child can give birth. Molid. Then he's ma'achil his mother truma. But if this child is a tumtum, and therefore obviously he cannot give birth to anybody, so maybe she cannot eat truma. So Kamash Balan, that his mother could also eat truma because of the tumtum. We're going to now bring another one. Tumtum cannot eat non-Kodesh. I understand Abaye that he's talking about. We're talking about a tumtum. Then you could see the testicles still sticking out. So Tanarei shot. So then that's why the Tanarei shot El Vadai. That another Vadai cannot eat truma, which means that an uncircumcised person for sure cannot eat truma. The Ktani Seifa, and the Seifa says Safek Arel, right? Even a Safek Arel is not going to eat truma. Ela le'Rava, but according to Rava, Tumtum the Seifa lamani. Why do we have Tumtum on the Seifa? So says the Gemara, no. My Tumtum, what are we talking about the Tumtum on the Seifa? Arel. That is Arel. Right? It's not a Safek, it's an Arel. Right? So says the Gemara, Hasha Safek Arel o Achil, Vadai Arel Achil. Says I don't understand you there. On a Safek, you're not allowed to eat truma. And on a Vadai, you're allowed to eat truma. Doesn't make sense. Says Matam Kama. No, says the Gemara, that's a reason. Matam tumtum and ochel truma. What's the reasoning why a tumtum cannot eat truma? Because it's safek arelu. It's safek arel. The arel and ochel truma kodashim. Arel cannot eat in truma or kodashim. So says the Gemara. So fine. So why don't we just say that this is a machlokut tonight? By mashuch. Remember what is mashuch? He had a brimila and then he was moshech or lato. He pushed over the foreskin. So he says lema tonight mashuch. The ger or a ger that converts when he's already had some brimila done to him. Vekatan shavar zmano, or a child that it's already past the time. Hushar kolanim molim, and all the other people, right, that they did already brimila. What is that to you? Mishish or shte olot. What he has two olot? One on top of another. Here it says here Oh, wow. Two different pshatim. Either he's got two orlot, which means one orla on top of another orla, or he's got two gidim, two male organs. Yeah, he's got two male organs. So says the Gemara, "Ena nimulim ela bayom." Right? Fine. So basically, these are what we talked about. That in all these cases, it comes out it's a machloket whether they can actually how do you call it, eat truma or not. Okay. Now we said ena nimulim ela bayom. You can only do the bri milah during the day. Rabbi Shimon says bizmano, which is on the 8th day, and nimulim ela bayom. So they're going to be during the daytime. Right? I'm bet. Right? I'm bet. 72 B. Yeah, any monim ela bayom. We're only going to do it during the day, right? It's not during the day, meaning it's on the 8th day. Imolim bayom do during the day, during the night. My lover, we know none of that can be pagez. This is not machloket. The more savar that more holds mashruch is midoraita and more savar than shruch is derabana. Meaning whether it's doraita derabana. So says the Gemara, the tizbira. Are you going to tell me that's logical? Katan shavar zmano. What about a katan shavar zmano? Does somebody hold, right? Somebody hold that it's Drabanan. Everybody holds that if it's going to be Mashuch, it's only a din Drabanan. The Katan Shavar Zmano is Doraita. Katan, which is passing its time, is Doraita. You have to do Bri Milah on a child. If the day passed and you weren't able to give him the Bri Milah, that's still Doraita to give him Bri Milah. But if somebody did a Bri Milah and now he's Moshech Olato, that's only a din Drabanan. So what's machloket? More savar dashinu uvayom hashmini. More savar lo dashinu uvayom hashmini. Meaning the extra vav achibur when it says uvayom hashmini, by the vav and on the 8th day. So therefore, according to him, he's saying that we say that the one that's going to be bismano, right, or shelo bismano, it's always bayom velo balayla. And the one no, it's even if it's only bismano, it's the bayom. It's not bismano, it could be even balayla. Ki had diativ Rabbi Yochanan v'kadadish notat, because Rabbi Yochanan was sitting. And he was being doresh about notat. Notat is leftovers of a korban after the time that you had to eat it. And now you have to burn it. Bizmano, if it's going to be during the time, which means, right, on the day of the notat, and on Nisaf el-Bayom, it has to be burnt during the day. Shalom bizmano, it's not going to be during the time when it's going to be notat, Nisaf el-Bayom el-Layla, whether it's during the day or during the night time. The 8th day, Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Yochanan comes and he asks Rabbi Yochanan. Remember, Rabbi Lazar was the student of Rabbi Yochanan. Where do we say that Rabbi Elazar was a student of Yochanan? We just learned it. We just learned it. Yeah? So he said, we only know if it's going to be nimol for the 8th day. Right? Because it's only going to be during the 8th day, but it has to be during the day. How do we know you can do it also on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th? Right, that has to be during the daytime. It says in the pasuk, "Uvayom." And even according to one that's not darish vav, nevertheless, vav hey is extra, right? Because it says over there, "Vehanotar." Vav hey is extra. Vehanotar. Just say notar darish, right? You are going to make this terasha. So therefore, he says, "Ishti." He kept quiet. But after Rabbi Lazar came out, Elmaleh Rabbi Yochanan Shakish says Rabbi Yochanan to the Shakish. ראיתי לבן פדת שיושב ודורש, right? I saw Ben Pedat, right? Yeah, that he says he was being יושב ודורש. כמשה מפי הגבורה, just like משה רבנו מפי הגבורה. אמר לרשקיש, says רשקיש דיבר, what you think it was what he said was his own? מצליתה היא. He says it's a ברייתא מפורשת. היכא תניא. Say, where is it? He says בתורת כהנים. So Nafak Tanya Bitlat Yomim, Rabbi Yochanan came out and he learned by all Torah Kohanim in 3 days. The Sabra Bitlat Yarch, right? And he went 3 months into it, which means the fact that Rabbi Yochanan realized he didn't know a certain part of even Torah Kohanim, which is Mamash, it's also called the Sifra, right? So what happened, right? They would come and they would learn it and learn it and learn it. So that's what he did. So he learned it by heart for 3 days. And then he delved deep into it for 3 months after knowing it by heart. But first you have to know it by heart. Afterwards, you could come and you could start, going deeper, right? And by the way, it's also what? That's the Gemara. When you have an arel that he did haza'ah michatat, he comes and he takes from the paraduma and he sprinkles it on something which is tamemet, his hazah is kosher. Just like a tvul yom, the tvul yom is a sur to truma, kasher bepara. It's going to be kasher with a paraduma. Malet tvul yom. Says the Gemara, what are you talking about? Malet tvul yom shekemutar b'maaser. A tvul yom is allowed to eat maaser. A person that's an adel is not allowed to eat maaser. So atula anan lachiyakam. Never said about. We never talked about eating. Anan lachiyakam. We're talking about touching. So he says, just like tvul yom, which is a truma negiyah truma, he's still mutar bepara. Avel shemutar benegiyah truma, eno din she mutar bepara. The Tanya Miyachli also learned from right arel shiza hazah to keshera. An arel did hazah, it's kosher. Maaseh ayav ikshiru chachamim hazatos. There was actually a story that happened. An arel came and did hazah, and the rabbi said it was kosher. Yes, you could touch it. They're going to ask the following question: Tumtum shekidesh kiddusho pasul. A tumtum that he does kiddushin, rather than shekidesh. Sorry, that he mixed the paraduma. Okay, then he mixed it all up for the mechata. Kiddusho pasul is pasul. Neshu safek arel because it's safek arel. The arel pasul kadesh. The arel is pasul kadesh. Vandroginos. Right. So here it's something mufurash that tumtum shekidesh is pasul. Why? Just like an arel. So here it's saying that it's pasul. Right. Kiddusho kasher. Rabbi Yehuda argues, right? And he says, even on the androginos, shekidesh kiddusha psulim. There's a safek isha psulam lekadesh. Also, an androginos, because androginos is both male and female. We don't know if it's male or female. So because of that, kiddusha psulim. Why? Maybe he's a woman. Then a woman is allowed to be mekadesh. Ktanim ya, but we did learn sharel v'safek arel pasul, right? V'safek arel pasul mekadesh. Whether it's an arel or a safek arel, they're not allowed to be mekadesh. They're not allowed to mix up the potion of the mechata with the waters and everything of the paraduma, right, and ashes and then sprinkle. So answers the Gemara. Rabbi Yosef says himself, Haitana Tana Rabbi Akiva, Tana Rabbi Akiva, again Rabbi Akiva. Did you realize every single day from Pesach Sheni until that moment we're talking about Rabbi Akiva? Temarvi le'arel ketamen. We're including arel to the Tanen. We know to the Raita. Rabbi Akiva says ish lerabot ta'arel. When it says ish, it includes arel, that he's not allowed to eat teruma. Amar Rava. Rabbi comes and he says, Yosef, we were in front of Yosef. We had the question, why is it that the Tana didn't come and teach, right, the concept of the Magat Tumot, Harel Vatameh, Veleiman Rabbi Akiva? You say, Rabbi Akiva. And we're talking about an Arel. Because an Arel, according to Rabbi Akiva, is not to eat Truma. So says the Gemara, Velo, Vaktani Arel Vatameh, Pturim in Arel. An Arel and Tameh, they're patur from bringing the Olatriya. Olatriya is the Gemara at the beginning of Chagiga. That when a person comes to do shalosh legalim, he's obligated to bring a korban olatriya, it's a burnt offering, olatriya, which is siya kadosh baruch hu. So therefore, he says arel and tameh are together, and that is like Rabbi Akiva. So he says, no, hata mishum de ma'is. There, he's ma'us because of his orla. He's disgusted to come in front of kadosh baruch hu. Hashem doesn't want to see him because he's ma'us, because he doesn't have a brit milah. When he goes according to his reasoning, but not because they're met, he's the same as a tameh. When he goes according to his reasoning, the Tanam is learned to the Misham Para, Hakol Kishrin Lekadesh. Everybody's permitted to do the Kiddush of the Mechatat, to sanctify the Mechatat of the Paraduma, except for Cheresh Shote Bekatan. Rabbi Yehuda is Machshir Bekatan, but he says it's going to be Pasul by an Isha of Adrigonos, with a woman and Adrigonos. My Tamad Rabbanan, what's reasoning with the rabbis? So the rabbis say that everybody is kosher, even the women, right? And right, he says, what is the reasoning? Example, but a katan no. It says you have to take. So he says, the ones which are pasul, ba'asifa, which is the ktanim, sulim bekidush are going to be pasul with the kiddush. Asifa means gathering together the ashes of the paradum, right? When you gather them together. Hanach and here, which are going to be kosher and asifa, which are women. Women are allowed to gather the ashes of the paraduma. Sheni mekiddush, they will be kosher in the kiddush of this, the mixing together, the kiddush of the mechatat. Rabbi Yehuda Amaleh, but Rabbi Yehuda is going to tell you, you can't. So name a crowd. The pasuk said velakach, just like it says ve'asta. My velakechu, my say velakechu. Ta'afilu anach tepsulin hatam shirimacha. Even the ones which are ktanim, which are pasul to do isuf, which is gathering together the ashes of the paraduma, they're going to be kosher to do the kiddush of the paraduma. So says the Gemara Yaakov. So Yishanan says also women. You should say that it's going to be kosher, but this is velakechu. So says the Gemara, Venatan, velon venatena. It says venatan, which is male. It doesn't say venatena, which is female. Rabbanan, according to the rabbis, if it was only going to be written v'lakach venatan, havamina would have say shakil chavya yifchad. One person has to give it, and one person has to take it. One person has to. It's two different. That even two people could come and take that ifed, right, or put the water together. You could have more than one person coming doing the job. The Katab Rahmanan, if it was only going to be written, Havamina would have said that you needed two people doing both. Shakli trei, they have a trei. Katab Rahmanan, that's why the Torah says, even if two people took it, you have one person to come and do the mixing of the things together.